We are on Terumot, Perek Gimel, Mishnah Dalet. Terumot, Perek Gimel, Mishnah Dalet, fourth Mishnah in the third chapter. In the last Mishnah, we learned what happens if you have two partners and each one took off Terumah. So then you had a machloket. Rabbi Akiva said that both of them are Terumah, and the Chacham said the first one. Basically, Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yossi said that we have to worry about both Terumot. So our Mishnah is a continuation of that Mishnah. Says our Mishnah, when is it true that we have to worry about the second person's Terumah and not just the first one? B'shelo diber, when the owner of the Terumah, or when the owner of the Terumah, lo diber, one of the partners did not speak, i.e., he didn't verbally give permission. Let's say, for example, so I own Terumah and I have a partner, and my partner took off Terumah without telling me, or somebody else took off Terumah without asking me. Okay, if two people took off Terumah, aval hirsha et ben beito. But if a person who's a ben bayit, a member of the family, harshot means give permission. If I give permission to a member of the family, o et abdo, or your slave, o et shivchato, or your maidservant litrom, trumato truma, then their truma is truma, and then the second truma, okay, is not truma. Okay, that's what the Bartenura says about hirshash and natan balabayit reshut litrom. If I gave the second person the permission to take off truma, then trumato truma. I have to tell you, I find this a little bit confusing because it doesn't sound like we're talking about partners here. Like in the first Mishnah, the Mishnah was talking about shutvim shetarmu. Whereas the second Mishnah, it seems like it's just saying, not talking about partners, but let's say if a family member didn't have permission, it's interesting, didn't have permission, then their truma is not truma. But if, let's say the family member had permission, and then I didn't realize they took off truma, and I took off truma as well, then their truma is truma and mine is not. Because they had permission and I did it unknowingly. My truma is not truma. And there's a lot of ramifications because I don't want to have double truma. I don't want to have double kedusha. But, bitel, let's say then was mevatel the shlichut. I gave them permission and then they went off and I said, I thought about it and then, I was mevatel. I said, I am now mevatel. I declared before I'm 18. I say they are now no longer to be my representatives in designating truma. So then it's a question. Im achelo taram bitel ein trumata truma. Okay? If I was mivatel, if I negated their representation, their shlichut, before they took off truma, achelo taram, then ein trumato truma, then of course they can't take off truma. But im taram bitel, but if they took off truma before I was mivatel, before I negated their representation, then trumato truma, then the truma is truma because they took off truma with permission before I was mevatel their representativeness. Mishnah says, hapoalim. Let's say I have workers. So, you have a balabai, you own the field, you own produce, and the workers are working. And the hamashuli trum. So, poalim, without explicit permission, do not have permission to take off truma. The balabai does not give poalim permission to take off truma on their own. Okay, except. And here we're talking about, for example, we're going to see specifically talking about a gat, a wine press. Chutz mi hadrochot. Darochot is an interesting question what that means. Let's look at the Bartenura, okay? Chutz, except for ba'alei ba'alim ame haaretz. Ba'alei haaretz, sheskiru po'alim chaverim lahafrish truma b'tahara. Okay? The owners of Am Haaretz, they hired po'alim chaverim in order to take up truma. V'sha'im litrom ad shelo yigu bo ha'ba'alim am haaretz v'yitamur tatruma. The problem is as follows. Remember we talked about wine. So if you recall, okay, before the grapes are squished, before they become wet, they're not ra'oi l'tuma. They're not able to become tamei because there's no liquid. Only when something becomes wet is it then possible for it to become tamei. So as soon as they squish the grapes, as soon as they step on the grapes, then the wine is going to be mukhshar lekabel tuma. It's possible for it to become tamei. But the problem is as follows. If the owner is a balabait, the owner himself is not nizhar in tuma and tahara. He himself is tamei. So he hires specific workers. You can see this today. You have a non-religious wine owner, and he hires, but it has to be. You want it to be OU, the highest standard, galat, rabbanut, Yerushalayim, but that's erech haredit, kashrut wine. So they say that the people who are working with the wine have to be shomer Shabbat. Similarly here, they have to be chaverim. Why? So normally po'alim don't have permission to do truma. Chutz min hadarochot. So the Kahati says, based on the name of the Rambam, daruchot are people who are the squishers, the people that step on the wine. Why? Shehem mitamin etagat biyad. Because if they don't take off truma, then the other workers and the balabayit will be mitameh. It's machshir lekabel tuma, the gat immediately. So therefore, the Baal Habayit would much rather have the owners take off Terumah, designate Terumah for him, B'tahara, in order for that the Terumah doesn't go to waste, it's not become Terumah Tameah, okay, rather than, even though he's not present at the time that they're taking off the Terumah. Let's just see this in the Bartunura. Shahaba'alim Amei Ha'aretz, Miyad Kishitchilu Adorchim Lidroch V'alchu Bagat Sheti Be'erev, the Ba'alim who are Amei Ha'aretz, immediately when the squishers start walking in the press, back and forth, and then they want to taste it, they want to see what the wine is, see if the grapes are good, okay, then they'll touch it, they won't stop, they won't hold themselves back from touching, okay, and they'll make it tameh. They assume I hired you to take off truma, so therefore I can touch it now. Therefore the chaverim designate kadesh your truma immediately, miyad. They immediately do it. So that's the understanding. Normally a worker dealing with produce has no right to take off truma. Remember, the Ba'amei Haaretz were careful about taking off truma. It was important to them. Okay, remember, ma'asrot was much different, as we learned in Masechet Tamai, but truma, yes. But in this specific case of the darochot, the wine squishers, the wine walkers, the grape walkers, whatever you want to call them, in that case, there was a special dispensation that the Baal Habayit specifically wanted them to take off truma on their own. We'll stop here. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to contact me as always let me see if I can find that text. No, I can't. At rspolter@gmail.com. Why don't we, okay. And we're dedicated to learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.